Samson Agonistes was written by John Milton. And Milton had this to say at the beginning of this poem. Samson was made a captive. He was bound and held in a prison at Gaza. There he had to labor as a common laborer. And one day, when the Philistines were enjoying their festival day, Samson was called upon to entertain them. Before he went, he was visited by certain of his tribe, which make up the chorus. And the chorus will be spoken at the end of this selection. And also his old father Manoah, who told Samson that he was going to try to ransom him from the Philistines. Samson did not want to entertain the Philistines. And when they sent one of their warriors to summon him, he at first refused. But afterward, he felt that God wanted him to do this. So Samson, blinded, captive of the Philistines, went to this festival, and herewith the tragedy of Samson Agonistes. The feast at noon grew high, and sacrifice had filled their hearts with mirth, high cheer, and wine. When to their sports they turned. Immediately was Samson as a public servant brought, in their state livery clad. Before him pipes and timbrels. On each side went armed guards, both horse and foot. Before him and behind, archers and slingers, cataphracts and spears. At sight of him, the people with a shout rifted the air, clamoring their God with praise, who had made this their dreadful enemy their thrall. He, patient but undaunted, where they led him, came to the place, and what was set before him, which without help of eye might be essayed to heave, pull, draw, or break, he still performed all with incredible, stupendous force, none daring to appear antagonist. At length, for intermission's sake, they led him between the pillars. He his guide requested, for so from such as near stood we heard, as overtired, to let him lean a while with both his arms on those two massy pillars that to the arched roof gave main support. He unsuspicious led him, which when Samson felt in his arms, with head a while inclined and eyes fast fixed, he stood as one who prayed, or some great matter in his mind revolved. At last, with head erect, thus cried aloud, "Hitherto, lords, what your commands imposed, I have performed, as reason was obeying, not without wonder or delight beheld. Now of my own accord such other trial I mean to show, of my strength yet greater, as with amaze shall strike all who behold." This uttered, straining all his nerves, he bowed as with the force of winds and waters pent, when mountains tremble, those two massy pillars with horrible convulsions, to and fro he tugged, he shook, till down they came, and drew the whole roof after them with burst of thunder upon the heads of all who sat beneath, lords, ladies, captains, counselors, or priests, their choice nobility and flower, not only of this, but each Philistine city round, met from all parts to solemnize this feast. Samson, with these inmixed, inevitably pulled down the same destruction on himself. The vulgar only escaped who stood without. O dearly bought revenge yet glorious, living or dying, thou hast fulfilled the work for which thou wast foretold to Israel, and now liest victorious among the slain, self-killed, not willingly, but tangled in a fold of dire necessity, whose law in death conjoined thee with thy slaughtered foes in number more than all thy life had slain before.